Let's define some terms. Like Abbas said before, UI design is emerging or is you're merging two different disciplines as UI design and UX design to form one discipline, UI UX design. So in that sense, there are two different disciplines here. We're looking at UI design and UX design. Now, first of all, UX design. UX design is user experience. It's basically everything we experience with the product. It's not just about the colors or the fonts or what you are saying, but about how we feel when interacting with that product. Yeah? So if UX design or a UX designer um works to create and design a user interface. If, um, Ijoma, please, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
Please, admit people in the waiting room. I think there are some people in the waiting room.
Okay.
Thank you. So the goal of a UX designer is to solve user problems and make interactions effortless and meaningful. In UX, you see things like information architecture, the user personas, the wireframes, the user research, the user flow, and prototyping. This might seem complex now, but as we go ahead or as we improve, okay, they should check their network. Okay, please, if you're having problems joining the call, please check your network and try to join again. There's no meeting room anymore, so you should be able to join the call directly. Thank you. Okay, so if you're following, please just drop an emoji on the chat section so I'm sure everybody's with me. Okay, thank you, Kenny. Thank you. So that is for UX design. UX, we're talking about the user experience. Then for UI design, we're talking about the user interface. So now the difference, one is interface, one is experience. Interface, if you what's an interface? We are the user and we are trying to use a digital product. So the interface is basically a separation of basically the linker between us, the user, and the digital product. Is what we see, how we interact with it. So in UI design, we see things like the colors, the typography, the buttons, the icons, the overall aesthetic. It's we're not talking about the feelings of the user here. We're talking about things like moving boxes. When you see people use Figma, this is basically where or what they're doing. So the goal of a UI designer is to make the product visually appealing and easy to use. Their job is to define the product's unique style and make it fit in the job market. And now, another terminology that we also see is the customer experience, CX. I'm not sure anybody has heard of this before. Well, you are usually familiar with UI, UX, but I don't know if anybody has heard about CX before. Has anybody heard of customer experience here? If you have, you just indicate on the chat section. No, I guess so. I guess so. So the customer experience, it's more than just the user interface or more than just the user experience. Now it encompasses the whole thing, the whole relation of a user with a product. Okay, James said he has heard about it. So I'll get to that later. Let's say, for example, you're using a platform, let's say a banking application, Kuda. The UI is great. You're able to send your money quickly. The UX is great. The experience is nice. Everything goes well. But at a certain point, let's say you send a certain amount of money, and it has left your account, but the person has not received it yet. And you're nervous, you're scared, what's happening? You go to contact the customer support, nobody's replying you. You go to their Twitter, you're tagging them everywhere, and nobody's replying you. Now, in this situation, now we're dealing with a digital product, yes. The user interface is great, yes. The user experience is great, yes. But now, for the customer experience, something has been affected. So this is where you leave UI and UX and you enter the company as a whole. That's where the terminology customer experience comes from. You talk about things, yes, user experience is there, user interface is there, you're dealing with customer support, you're dealing with marketing, you're dealing with branding. When you see the logo, when you see yellow as a yellow and you remember MTN or you think of MTN, it's the customer experience, it's the branding, the marketing, how you have put that your digital product out there and how they have received it. So this is another terminology that people are not really familiar with. Another one is product design. People usually confuse the UI designer and the product designer. I don't know if um let's see. Can anybody here tell me what a product designer is? What a product designer does? Or what product design is? Raise up your hand if you can. Anybody here? Can you hear me? All right, AJ, are you interested? Please, what do you understand by product design, or what do you think a product designer does? I know he's on the screen. But I want to hear from you.
Okay. Um, Good afternoon.
Good
Sorry,
afternoon.
my background is a little bit noisy. So what I understand, that can you hear me, please?
I can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So what I understand that a product designer does, I don't know, with what I know, right? I believe that a product designer are people um how am I going to put it? I think there are people that go through designs, right? And I mean go through designs, they check through the interface, everything, they do research and they come up with what they feel is going to be, the best in terms of user experience generally, or what they feel users are going to feel comfortable, using at the end of the day on the interface. I don't know, I might be wrong, but that's just what I understand, right?
Okay, you have an idea. You have a good idea of it. But I think you're heading towards product manager because they are confusing terminologies. Abasi, let me hear from you. So thank you for that. Abasi.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So I think the product designer, his job
I-
also encompasses the UX UI because the product designer is involved in like a whole product development process. So he has like a more role than the UX UI. Thank you.
I didn't really get you. Can you say that last sentence? Can you
Sorry,
repeat it?
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I said I think the product designer has like a more broad like he is involved in like the product development process, kind of, which also encompasses the UX and UI, basically.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you said it. You said it. Um, well, product designer, he does the job of a user experience designer, a user interface designer, and a UX researcher. So it's more than just the user interface and user experience, but they work with solving problems. They engage in UX research. They like it's just like okay, user interface is colors and boxes. User experiences is how you relate with a design, how we're able to use it, how usable it is. Yeah. But user research deals with solving problems. Yeah. So what is the problem that this application or this digital product wants to solve? A product designer is a person that critically thinks and actually uses the user interface or user experience, the digital tools like Figma and all that to solve that problem. So here we're not just talking about painting pixels or getting boxes and all that. We're talking about solving problems. So all I said, a product designer determine how a product should work based on business goals and equity UX. That's a nice way to put it. Product design is the process of imaging and creating products and user experience. James, thank you, James and Ola, for that definition. So let's go ahead. Yeah. So now, Abbas, you can drop your hand. Your hand is still raised. Now, UX versus UI. Let's see. Before I go ahead to this, I would like someone to tell me, like, from what I've said, for me to be sure that everybody is following. What's the difference? Like, what do you think is the difference between a UI designer and a UX designer? I know it's clear, I know it's plain, it's obvious, but I just want to hear it from somebody. Let's see. AJ, I'd like to hear from you.
Okay, so I'd like to say user experiences, what users as a whole get to see and what they get to interact with after we've gone through the design process and everything. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
Okay, so please, I don't know if I get the question right. Okay, UX, okay. So UX is user experience generally, right? Which comes after, I don't know, but I want to believe that it comes after the interface and everything. So that's just what I understand by it. So that's like what user experience is for me, and user interface is like what I get to see as a user. For example, if I'm trying to use a particular app or a particular platform, what do I get to see from the coloring to the buttons to everything? So that's just in a layman language. I don't know.
You're talking about UI, user interface, right? Because you said user experience. And
Yes, user interface. Sorry, I'm a bit tense. Sorry.
that's fine. Yes, you got it down. Yes, how a product should work, and UI is how a product should look. Who is this? Did you steal my slide? Because this is exactly what is here. Okay, yeah, so UI is the visual element of a digital product, and UX is the overall experience the user has while interacting with the product. Now, I do not want us to separate UI and UX. UI is a component of UX. UX is the whole experience, the overall experience, the totality of the experience the user has while interacting with the product. So yes, the user is going to interact with the font you're going to use, with the color you're going to use, with the style of the button you're going to use. So if they are interconnected, I do not want us to separate them. Yeah. So to get down, we use UI UX to ensure that digital products are beautiful, functional, and user-friendly. Beautiful aspect, the UI, and functional aspect, UX. How we how we how it works basically. So now, so as I said before, again, this another is just a diagram showing the differences. UI, you talk about the color, the typography, the layout, design system, the visual design, images you're using. The UX, you think about information architecture, the user persona, the wireframe, the user research, the user flow, and the prototyping. So now in this UX, now you're going to see in the wireframe. Wireframe, wireframe is basically the skeleton of your design. So the skeleton of your digital product. So in this skeleton, you're going to you're still going to apply the colors, your typography, your layout, your design system. So this is where you see that UI is actually a component of UX. They are not two separate disciplines. Yes, they are, but UI is a sub-component of UX. So I would like us to see it like that and not just alienate the both of them. Like I said again, UX is the foundation. It ensures that the product works well, and UI is the polish. It makes the product look great. If you look at this example I gave here, this is a ketchup container, ketchup bottle. So the first is beautiful. It's shaped like a bottle with the cover. But when you come to how it works, how you use it, ketchup is thick. It's very thick and it has a very thick consistency. So if you're pouring it with a bottle, something you can't squeeze easily, you probably have to stress yourself using it. It's not very usable in that bottle. But when you see the other design, like the newer ketchup packaging now, it's it's made of rubber, so you can easily squeeze it, and it's already tilted upside down, so you can easily use it. So this shows you a clear difference between the UI and the UX. Is everybody with me? Can everybody hear me? Are we following, please?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is another just practical applications. I just brought a lot of different applications to show you the clear difference between UI and UX. So you can think of UX as the skeleton and the muscles of the human body. It's what makes us move and do our activities. And the UI is our skin and our appearance, how we look, our colors, and all that. So they work hand in hand to make a digital product what it is. Importance of UI UX design is self-explanatory. If something is designed well, it's going to improve our satisfaction while using it. If it's pretty, we're going to like it. Everybody likes pretty things. It's going to increase conversion. If an application is easy to navigate, we are coming to an application to buy something. If we can easily see the buy button and easily pay our money, it's going to be very easy for us to use the application and go. It also builds brand trust. If something is easy to use and it works well, and we have used it a lot of time and it keeps working well, we are going to review, we're going to keep using it and we're going to refer it to others. It also reduces costs because if something works well, you do not have to change it. Career opportunities in UI design. You can be a UI design. Yes, there's something as UI design. So you focus solely on the UI, just the colors and the fonts and the typography, the layout, the grids, just the visuals of the product. There's even a design system, like some people that solely they work on design systems. So there is the UI UX designer. They focus on user research and experience. There's the product designer, which handles both UI and UX, and also offering strategy and critical thinking. Because here we are trying to implement UI and UX and solve problems with them. Then you have the interaction designer focusing on micro interactions and animations. So as simple as the click of a button, like how the color changes, or our mouse, if you go here, it changes. Those micro interactions or animations, as little as that, there are some people that design it. Anything you see on your screen, no matter how little it is, there's some people that there are people behind in the brain, like they are the brains of it that design it. So you have usability analysts. They work on improving product usability through testing. They interview users, they get their feedback and get answers. You have freelance UI UX designers. Some people that they work with various clients remotely. You can see them on Upwork. So it's left for you to choose what you want to do with the skill you are trying to learn now. You can be a UI designer, just where your strength lies in. But the goal of everything is to be a well-rounded designer. That's a product designer. If you're able to handle both UI, you're able to handle UX, and you're able to think critically so that whatever you're designing is solving a problem, there's no way you will definitely be in high demand, and the skill will not just be for show. So in some way, a great product needs both UI and UX. And no matter how beautiful a design to use, no matter how beautiful a design is, if it is hard to use, people will get frustrated. So we must implement both UI UX to make sure our design does what it's supposed to do and as easy as possible. So what objectives for this course? Because this is just the introductory section, but this course, like the whole 3 months, we're going to be working together in this bootcamp. At the end of the course, we should be able to understand the fundamentals of UI design, to learn the design thinking process. How does a product come to life? Like how a product that is in your head, how did it happen that like the whole thinking and everything, and we created a digital product. So that's the design thinking process basically. So we're going to develop skills in wireframing, prototyping, and usability testing. We're going to master Figma for UI design. I know a lot of people here are already familiar with what Figma is and what it is used for. Also, going to be able to create a case study for your portfolio and work on real world projects. This will be in the form of your tax. Like when I share a tax on the LMS and all that. So how to succeed in this course? I advise that we be consistent, we engage, ask questions, don't be quiet, please. I'm available, John is available. So just ask questions in the Slack channel and we'll attend to you as soon as possible. So apply concept, anything you have taught here, just apply it. Don't just let it be in your head or let it just be theoretical. Apply it in your real life so that it sticks harder. Network, connect with your peers and industry experts. You have a community channel. There are people that might know better than you. You might be confused on something, so just interact with them, ask questions. If Ijoma and I were not available, I'm very sure that somebody, your fellow peer, might have the answer to your question. So just be willing to network with people. So tools and applications needed for this program, Zoom. So if you are here right now, you probably have Zoom. I would advise that we get the Zoom desktop application for the live classes. Then the Discord community. Everybody here should be on the Discord community, I hope. And everybody should also be in their correct. It's too fast. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, I'm working with time. The Discord community. Please indicate in the chat if you are in the Discord community and you are in the Slack channel, and if you have gotten your role. Okay, sorry, send a thumbs up on the chat box. My voice is breaking again. Can we hear me clearly now? Can everybody hear me? All right, thank you. Okay, so please send a thumbs up. Okay. Thank you. Uh, okay. So the Discord community, we're going to use YouTube for self-paced learning. Yes, everything that has been taught here will be posted on YouTube. So at your free time, at your spare time, you can go to YouTube and find it on the KodeCamp community, on the KodeCamp channel. Everybody can go to YouTube now and just type in KodeCamp team. That's our YouTube channel. So every video, every class will be uploaded there. So learning management system, you're going to use learning management system for tax and tax submissions. So Google Docs for document submissions. If you have done your tax zero, that's your grid tax, you should already be familiar with some of these things because the submission was with Google Docs. I asked you to submit your tax with Google Docs. Then Figma, when we get to that stage, we're going to be using Figma for design and StickJam for ideation. So these are the tools and applications we need at this stage. If at any point we need tools, let us know.